Fight on, family. Preston's Paradise here. Our USC Trojans take on the Michigan State Spartans in the Coliseum. And the question is, can the Trojans defend the home turf of the Coliseum this Saturday? Lots of storylines in this one, right? And really, most importantly, in the last 48 hours, some injury news on both sides of this matchup. How will it impact this game on Saturday? And will the Trojans be able to pull it out? Let's get into the preview. Now, when I look at Michigan State, watched a couple of their games, watched the game against Youngstown State, also watched their game against Boston College, where I thought I was able to glean a little bit more information because of, the competition level that Boston College was bringing to the table. As far as offensively, Aiden Childs at the quarterback spot, obviously Jonathan Smith over there. They like to do a lot of, gap scheme stuff, run inside the tackles, inside zone, outside zone, and then get into the play action pass game, with the vertical routes down the field. That's kind of how they like to operate. Also like to operate with a lot of tempo. They'll do some design runs for Aiden Childs where, to be honest, he looks a little careless with the football. And that's really what's going to come down to, man. Aiden Childs, I think, has made a jump from last season, but he still makes some passes that are very, very spooky. Still a little bit too careless with the football, in my personal opinion. But let's talk a little bit more about their offense, right? On the offensive side of the ball, that's what they're going to do. A lot of play action, design runs for Aiden Childs. They like to run outside zone. Mekhi Frazier and Tullis, the running backs, very good, run very hard, got decent speed and ability as well. Now, as far as the Michigan State injuries that were kind of leaked out a few days ago, Frazier seems to be completely out. He will not play. Tullis seems to be the running back. He is the guy that's going to play in replacement for Frazier, Mekhi Frazier. Tullis and Frazier are about the same running back, in my personal opinion, when I watched them against Boston College. Like, they're both, pretty good, pretty strong running backs, run hard. So I don't really think that's going to impact really that much, in my personal opinion. They do also like to get a little tricky on offense. They'll do some trickery on the offense, reverse passes and stuff like that. That is some stuff that I saw with their offense. But as far as Childs, right? Last season he had 13 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I think he is better than last season, but not disciplined, man. He will give up the ball, trying to squeeze it into tight windows, trying to be a superhero while he's running the ball. And I think our defensive line is going to be able to get after that and make some things happen, right? As far as their defense, actually, I'll stick with their offense. Nick Marsh at the wide receiver position. Obviously, he's the best weapon they have on the offensive side of the ball at the wide receiver position. Great hands, physical, can pick up yards after contact. It seems like he is questionable in this matchup against USC. But even with these injury reports coming out, all this news, I don't really know what to expect, bro. These dudes may strap up because it's USC. At the end of the day, there's been people. It's kind of like the Lakers. People will be hurt, but then when they play the Lakers, automatically they're just healed up and they want to play. So we may see Nick Marsh come out. He seems to be questionable or possibly even doubtful for the matchup against USC. But we'll see. We'll see, right? The tight end, Mike Masunis, has 2 touchdowns on the season. He is another guy that they like to go to. They like to do a lot of 12 personnel as well. They use 2 tight ends. But Masunis is a bit of a weapon at the tight end position. I would look at, as far as Alante Brown, man, number 0. He is a guy that I think is completely out. Thank God, because he is a real threat in the kick return game. I saw him make some really big plays in the kick return game. Now let's start with their defense. Leading the defense, Jordan Hall, linebacker number 5 here. He's leading the team in tackles with 27 tackles, 1 forced fumble. I like him. He makes plays. Doesn't really have all his screws tight in. Can kind of make some dumb plays and get some penalties as well. But a good player, probably the best defender they have. Defensive tackle Grady Kelly does a good job. Nasty defensive lineman. Not a guy that's a huge guy, but he transferred over from Florida State. I think as far as their interior guys, he's the one I like the most. As far as edges, get into the quarterbacks. Anelu Lafeili out of Hawaii. He's got 2 sacks on the edge. Number 11, I believe, He's a guy that's going to try to get after the quarterback. So our tackles just got to take care of business, man. These guys aren't monsters physically, but definitely some of their guys on the defensive front that can get after it, try to stop the run, try to get to the quarterback. So those are definitely guys to keep an eye on. And as far as defensively too, like they're not the greatest tackling group, right? This is a team that will miss tackles, will get upfield and whatnot. So I'd like to see Maava kind of lean into, running the ball and use that. And hopefully our playmakers can use that ability to kind of, pick and choose whatever they want to do when we get into short yards, when we get in the red zone. And that could be tricky for that Michigan State defense. But as far as offensive and defensive, yeah, man. Special teams are using 2 kickers. They got a true freshman long snapper. The offensive line, another thing, right? Offensive line for them, pretty solid. But I saw Boston College getting after them in that game, man. And this is a USC defensive line that's leading the nation in sacks, right? With 14 sacks. So I'm not that worried. I like Matt Goldman. He was that guy in the portal at the center position coming out of Wake Forest who I really wanted USC to pick up. He ended up at Michigan State. He's a good one. They got the right tackle from Montana. But the O-line is inconsistent. And I think one of their tackles is also out for the year as well. That was also news that came out. So they're going to be missing some pieces all across the board. We'll see if Marsh plays. That's like probably the biggest loss for them in my personal opinion. But this offense is all right. But if they're missing Marsh, if they're missing Mekhi Frazier, then I think that bodes very well for USC's defense. Another guy that they have on defense that they're just getting back is Martinez. I think Nikel Martinez, the DB. He did not play in the first couple games. Played last week, had like a tackle. He's a guy that had, I think, 2 or 3 interceptions for them last season. He's a DB, defensive back, number 1. And he's one of their better defensive players as well. So he might be back for USC. I think he's going to play because he did play last week. So that's all I got, man, for Michigan State on offense and defense. And let's talk about our Trojans and what we need to do to win this game and defend home turf in the Coliseum. Now, what do our Trojans need to do to come out victorious on Saturday, man? My light keys: continue to get after the quarterback, continue to get pressure on that offensive line. Offensive line is going to be a little thin. They were already inconsistent even before the injuries, in my personal opinion, when I watched them on film, when I watched them against Boston College and whatnot. So continue to just keep your head down, get pressure, get in the backfield, keep contained because you are dealing with a mobile quarterback. That is something that I stressed in last week's preview. We kind of dealt with some issues there, man. In these previews, exactly what I say usually happens. So hopefully we're able to do a little bit better in terms of keeping contained, keeping a bit of a spy. That's really linebacker vibes. Keep a spy on Childs as he kind of rolls out. They're going to be doing a lot of play action stuff. But if you can contain that run, I want Aiden Childs to turn into a passer, bro. I want to get this guy passing, get him into making bad decisions, trying to force the ball down the field, trying to force the ball into tight windows, and we'll get interceptions, man. We got 6 interceptions. I think the defensive backs are taking a little bit too much heat based off of last week. Last week's systematically, man, like they weren't trying, they weren't able to succeed for various reasons just because of the way that offense was moving with the RPO. And I think we're going to see an improvement in that this upcoming week. Obviously, we have bad news. Chasen Johnson out with the injury. But I'm not going to sit here and lament. This team is not going to sit here and lament and say, oh, man, this is unfortunate. Obviously, it's unfortunate. But I'm not going to renege on the stuff I was saying this offseason. I had a lot of faith in Marcellus Williams. Thought he should have been a starter on this team. I got a lot of faith in DJ Harvey. Coming over from where he's coming. I think these guys just got to get a little bit acclimated, man. This ramp up was exactly what we needed, right? As far as their offense as well, I mean, if they're missing Nick Marsh, then that is a huge loss. That's their most explosive guy in the wide receiver room. So that would be a benefit for us. Unfortunately, I don't want to wish injuries on anybody, but that is just the facts. And that, man, just stop the run, be consistent, make tackles. And I have faith in Dan Lynn and in this scheme that he's gonna put our guys in position to succeed and be successful. As far as this offense, Lincoln Riley in this offense, the play calling, man, Love it. Love the designed runs for Jaden Maaba when we get to the red zone. That can give a little bit more thought to what these defenses want to do as far as a red zone, man. I would like to see us punch it in as well, right? I think we're going to get better at that as the season goes on, just to be able to punch it in when we get, 5-6 yards out. And I think we will see that. But just love the steadiness, love, the confidence that Jaden is playing with. Continue to take care of the ball. I watched this Michigan State defensive back room against Boston College. Boston College wide receivers ate them alive. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you don't see Lemonade to Nook Hines, our guys eat this Michigan State defensive back room alive. They seem heavy-footed. They're susceptible in the RPO game. We're going to do some very nice stuff. This is also a defensive line that is susceptible to gap scheme stuff, like pulling guards and pulling tackles. They did not do well when Boston College was doing stuff like that. So if we could do that in the run game with Waymo, with Sanders, with King Miller, then it's off to the races, man. I think USC takes care of business this Saturday in the Coliseum. Have them winning the game 38-14 against Michigan State, man. I think we make another statement here at home and get our first in-conference victory against the Spartans. So that is it for the preview. That is it for the like keys. Appreciate you guys watching the video, supporting the video, man. We are very close to 1,500 subs on this channel. Once we hit that 1,500, man, the road to 2K. We are commencing on the road to 2K. So if you like the video, if you like the content, man, you guys liking this video does so much for me, man. If you could try to get the video to 100 likes minimum, that would mean the world. And yeah, man, continue to put out the content, continue to give my perspective on this team. Let's keep it rolling, man. 3-0, soon to be 4-0 in my personal opinion. Fight on, guys. Have a good day.